Welcome back, everybody. It's 8 o'clock on the 12th of April. That would be a Saturday. Welcome. This is Scuffed Epoch, formerly 5 Below 5. I'm Drift Johnson. Welcome to the live. We're here every day at 8 o'clock because for some reason the time shift didn't matter. I'm just at the same time. It was 7. Now we're summer, so it's 8. When we go back to winter, it'll probably be 7 again. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining. I'd just like to say hello to everybody sitting in the chat. Hello, Full Dive Media. Hello, Dragon Diffusion. Hello, Kurt Curtis. Hello, Fernicar. Battle Cruiser Operational. We're here. So tonight, don't forget, if you're watching live or you're watching later, we have a Discord. You can join it. Links in the description. Get involved. All right. A couple of big things to cover here today. First of all, this project is coming along nicely. This is a live all-in-one composite. So, I mean, I say all-in-one, but we technically teleport to a different workflow for this part. But before I get into that, I just want to thank you all for joining in and supporting the channel. Thank you to all the members. Got some new stuff coming for you soon. And what you're looking at is actually my way of creating member content, because I can put any video in here. We've used the Rojogan podcast because it's recognizable and it's easy to judge on quality. I have created my standard white guy overlay, and then we've done background replacement, okay? Then we've done motion. Wait, why is that inverted? What? For some reason it inverted the mask. I don't know how that's not broken, but we're going to do it again. Okay. So yeah, it does motion tracking on the headphones. Okay. And then finally what I do is I do an upscale on the combination. Yeah. See, it's black because it was all messed up. But essentially, wait, is this an upscale? Let me just double check this. Video combine, repeat. Oh no, this is the background. Oh, it's the microphone. Right. Okay. So essentially I've broken it. So let's just fix this. Or have I? Ah, it's because the image that's going in is not this anymore. Is it? Let me just check what I've done here. I think I broke it. Yeah, I broke it. So what I need to do is I need to send the first frame from the top, because there's no microphone on this. I think I was doing it to check. Yeah, I was doing it to test the overlay. So you have a look here, this is kind of like the final changed background. I don't know why it's made a basket there, but there's going to be a microphone over the top, so it's fine. He says, what's that? Now that's a record. We broke it in 3 minutes. That's what we do. Break it, fix it. Break it, fix it. Learn something. So as you can see, that's the original. And my remix fits pretty good. Okay, it's a different style and all, but, you know, we could have generated a billion of these. And we probably will. So, as I say, it's a 2-stage. Wipe out the original logo and then put mine at the bottom. Now, I think what I might try now is wipe out the bottom and then put something, you know, put something else at the top. But it's very hit and miss, guys. Very hit and miss. Inpainting is a absolute nightmare. Now, in this particular workflow, we're actually doing... We're not doing any inpainting. We're just bringing the image in from another one, okay? Now, at the moment, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to mess around with shrinking the main mask, okay? And I still think I've got a lot to do here. I think maybe I shouldn't do as much softening. Should probably do like soft 1. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm tweaking it. And the idea is I'm trying to see if I can eliminate the white halo. Now, I do have a way of fixing this, but it might not be pretty. See, what I could do is I could do a ring paint. I could do a ring paint and in-paint around the edge of the headphones using the white. It's a bit rough though, because it's programmed to like not change things that are white. Anyway. It is what it is. I suppose you could like invert it first, or you can do all kinds of tricks, but I'm trying to keep it simple. And the idea is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a scene of me talking to the members. I'll probably be sitting on a stool or something in a location. It'll white guide me. There won't be a need for the outpainting part, so I could probably skip that. I might motion track my hat, something like that, you know, just because we can. And if there's anything in the foreground, that's what this layer would be for here. So that's what's going on there. A lot of testing stuff all over the place. See, I broke the microphone. We'll fix that on the next run. Right, so let's show you the other workflow, because this bit here is missing. Okay. So, I believe this is what I used originally, okay? So, as you can tell, this is an absolute pigsty. So, 2 secs. I just got to jump over here real quick. Hold up. So, what I need to do real quick is I just need to grab this, do a projector, grab this, and then move it. I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. We've had some great weather. It's starting to get a bit overcast over here in the UK. It's probably going to rain soon. There we go. Right. Because this is going to need some explaining, right? So let's just jump in. Make it a little bit bigger. And I think we'll do a little thing here, guys. All right. So, art time. So then, guys, what I want to do is I'm going to break this workflow down for you. It's actually pretty simple. Essentially, what we've got is we've got a LoRa Flux with depth up top, running off a GGUF in Q8. So I'm probably using the Jaguar fine tuner Flux for that. In the middle, we've got SDXL using Llama Cleaner to do a nice clean removal. So let's just draw some attention to what we're doing here, shall we? Test, test, test. That didn't work. It's always good when it doesn't work. Oh, I see what's happened. Art Time doesn't have it. Right, I'm going to have to duck away real quick. Let's copy that. See, you can see the scribbles. Right, let's paste me back in here, please. There we go. That's what I needed. Right then, now we can get started. So up top we have Flux. So there is the model loader there. Okay. And then what we have here is the image to image stuff. And then the text to image stuff. So image, text, models. Okay, this is the actual sampling section, and then over on oh wait, no, I'm wrong, don't say that. This is the sampler, obviously, because there's your output. Okay, there's your output for the initial. Okay, obviously we have the LoRa loader up here, just there. The depth stuff, where's the depth stuff? We'll zoom in and find it, but I think that the depth model is here. CNET. Also, don't forget the Llama Cleaner SDXL stuff. It's reliable, okay, which is why I used it. So we've got all of that there, which is basically Inpainting out the it's Inpainting out. So that entire run, that entire row there is dealing with the in-paint, the ring paint. So this is the ring paint here. We're going to run it in a minute so you'll be able to see it work. But essentially that's a dilated edge mask, which is going to rework the edges so it blends nicely. Because otherwise you get like a halo, like a shadow. Okay. And then down the bottom, of course, we've got my famous boosted tiled Flux upscale. Boosted. Okay. So that's what we've got. Now, we're not stopping here, but I am going to show this off first. So it's time to roll up them sleeves. All right, boys. So obviously we start off with the Joe Rogan experience. In fact, should we start off completely fresh? Okay, let's start off, yeah. So this is the original image right here. So hang on a second. Ah, yeah, and then we've got the depth up here. Right. So we've got a bit of a hodgepodge going on here. Hold up. It looks like this is actually entirely separate and should probably be up there, actually. Yeah. So yeah, cleaning it up a little bit, looks like. Right, so we'll start off here, and this is a frame dumped from the Joe Rogan experience, okay? Now obviously I'm going to have to put a mask on it, because I've deleted mine, so I'll go to Mask Editor, and we're just going to paint Joe out. Now give yourself a little bit of a gap. You don't have to get the edge exactly right. I'm going to forget the microphone, I just want to get rid of that. That's all it is. We save that. Now obviously I've got my project here, so I'm going to say Rogan demo. Now obviously this could be any podcaster, right? I'm going to be using my DJZ merger RealViz Juggernaut Hermite, but you can use any SDXL fine tune. I just use this one because we did a tutorial about a year ago on how to make a nice SDXL merge, and so this is my SDXL merge. It uses the fake cubic Hermite graph, if you go back and watch that video and you're interested to know. Alright, so this is the Real Jugs XL that nobody can find. It's because I did a tutorial, you make it yourself. Okay, moving on. So here it says a neon sign that reads Joe Rogan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say instead an empty podcasting studio with a sign, with a neon sign at the back which reads the Joe Rogan experience. Now we know it, we know that it can't, okay, we know We know it can't spell, all right? We're not going to even try. But I think every little helps. And we probably need to take text out of the thing here. Cool. Now we're going to be using focus. Now I just want to show you it's focus in paint head, and we're using Inpaint V25 focus patch, all right? What else are we using? We're also using my big llama, because it is using the comfy Inpaint nodes Inpaint model, right? This is the sorry, not DJPEG Omni SR 1X refiner upscaler. Okay, so it doesn't make it bigger, it just, you know, makes it less badderer. So we're going to be using 24 steps, 5 CFG, DPM, PP, 2M, SDE, GPU, Karas. Say that with a mouthful of jelly. Alright, now once we've finished with that, that gives us our initial. Alright, so let's just run it. I think I'm going to like bypass. What the hell? I wonder why it bypassed that. Weird. So yeah, I'm just going to bypass all of this lot down here just for the minute. Just because we're only doing the top part first. And there's a reason we're looking at the old stuff, okay? So let's just see what it's actually doing, guys. Because I could just hit run and show you the thing. That's not the point here. So remember, we've got an Inpaint model. Inpaint model, input image, input mask, optional upscale. Awesome. Okay? And we'll see in a minute how that works. And that's actually going, so we're going to do Inpaint first, and then we're going to go further, right? So, big llama we're using. DJPEG. We've already looked at these. This, not so much. This we've used a lot. You make the mask, right click, click mask editor. Simple, simple. Change your project name. Make this, you know, vaguely relevant to what you want to describe the scene without the person is what you're trying to do, really. All right? You want to describe what you want the image to look like after it's done, yeah? And then hopefully we don't get unlucky. Okay, randomize on the seed, important, because you don't want to, you know, we're going to probably have to do it a couple times. Okay, we might get lucky though. So, with focus, you have the patch, which goes into the apply. Model goes in, so that's patched, you see. Model, in, out, patch. So that's, yeah? And then for the latent, comes off of your encode conditioning. So positive, negative, VAE, the pixels from the pre-process, the mask, which comes from what you painted, yeah? Just trying to make you guys like, yeah, Inpainting stuff, right? And after this, it's just the same as normal. Normal K-sampler, nothing, this is standard affair from this point onwards, all right? Now, we do have a couple of things. You'll see, you'll see. So anyway, this image is going to get passed on. Okay, basically we're using the composite mask to make sure that it actually is, let's see, where's the destination? So here's what it looked like, and it's going to it inpaints this, and then it overlays it, and you know, there's actually an inpainted layer which gets blended down, okay, with the mask that you painted. All right, so then we'll get our first image. Let's just start it, and enough talking, more action. So as you can see, we got Joe in 1280-720, and it does the initial paint, and look what it did. Blech. Now you can see the edge for one. See, you can see the edge, and it's horrible quality. Like, oh my god, what happened? But don't worry, that's just the beginning. We're just pre-processing. We actually want it to be a bit noisy here because it can do more with the noise. All right. It should be somewhere else by now. Where is it? Ah, it's loading all of the, yeah. It's loading the back end. So in a minute, it's going to complete this image. But let's talk about the next section first. So this is my ring painting section. What I did was I made something called Video Ring Painter. You can choose how wide the dilation is, how big the blur is. And then it's got a highlight color output. So this is a preview output for the highlight and background and all of that stuff. That's nothing to do with the mask. That's for the preview. so that we can see this. And actually, it looks like I missed a bit in the middle. So I have actually screwed this up. What? How? Let me have a look at this. Can't believe that. How did I miss the middle? It might just be because it's a ring and it's just an artifact of the fact that it's a ring, okay? But there shouldn't be a dot in the middle. It means there's probably like 1 pixel that I missed. We'll do it again in a sec. So anyway, I want to get this result, or at least get it loaded first. So yeah. All right. So obviously this image is going into the focus in Paint, and then we do the sampler, do the composite to patch it over the top, and then we've got our image. Now that will be like a better version of this, because it's going to do 24 steps with the Inpaint and the prompt, okay? But it is SDXL, so it cannot spell for God. You can't. With a gun to its head, it can't spell, okay? It's just one of those things. So that's, like I said, that's going to just do the edge. This bit here is literally just to paint the edge. So when the character's moving, because remember, this is video. This is all video. This is... Oh, it's funny, actually. Is it video? It's not video. I should probably try that. Well, I'm only doing 1 image, and my video node will run 1 image. So don't. I think I threw myself off because it's video ring painter, but it works with stills. It can take a batch of 1, so don't worry about it. Anyway, moving on. Okay, and then we've got to compare it. So what you'll see, though, the result of this is that sometimes there's a shadow. So if we look at this, there's quite an obvious edge. And often what would happen is you could always see, no matter how good it was, if you looked at the screen from a certain angle, you know, it would make it more obvious, and you'd be able to see this edge. And so what the ring paint does is it does its best to just in paint where the red line is, the ring. All right, cool. And like I said, while we wait for SDXL to load, what the hell, SDXL? It must be like, yeah, there we go. Roughly where my patience runs out. It starts doing stuff. I'll leave it up. Let's check out the comments. T-shirt, 200 nodes, and this is still simple. True. My dog has been sick on my graphics tablet. In spite for my bathing him. Your dog's a real character, man. You should probably write a cartoon or something about him. It'd be funny. I'd read it. Ah, there we go. Loaded completely. Yeah, we're in the wind. Ooh, it's time to do that model patch. Hopefully it'll all stay in memory at least, so we can like do this and yeah. What I don't like is all the loading times, but I reckon what's going to happen is I'm going to make a prediction, okay? Quantized GGF models running on CPU with no slowdown. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I probably won't be like, probably like a year or 2. But I'm going to make the prediction now, and you know, I have absolutely nothing to do with making it work, making it happen. Yeah, I think that would be a real big deal. The only thing I was thinking about the other day as well was int1. Yeah, so FP1. Obviously, you'd need to come up with some new architecture, but just the idea that there's 1 point in the graph. So you prompt, it gives answer. There's no vector. Somehow they figure out how to compress it. I don't know. But anyway, if we take a look at the result, as you can see, it's done a pretty good job. Look at that. The Joe Rogan experiments. Now remember, there's going to be a person in front here, so it doesn't actually need to look perfect, right? And so considering there's going to be a shape, you know, well, I'm not going to do that. Considering there's going to be a shape of a person blocking most of this, okay, this is fine. the person would have to move a lot to show the weirdness. But this is the thing. This is just part or a way of doing it, right? So if I just save this one right now, and then again, remember how I said you can see the edge if you look. This one's pretty good actually, but I bet if we like, yep. See this? See this edge here? You can see it. Oh, what have we got the pen for? Look at that. That's a nice, that's a nice line. So yeah, it's pretty good, but you can, if you look, you can see it. Look, there it is again, look. I'll just draw on the line. Yeah. So, and this is why I'm like, that's not good enough. It's good, but it's not good enough. And so that's why we bring in the ring painting, and the ring painting goes ahead. And if we now try to find the edge, we won't find it. It's gone. Edge is gone. Look, I'm looking. It was there. It's gone. And luckily for us, there is no new edge, because the problem you have with fixing the edge is you just create another edge with a band. But no, doesn't happen. So yeah, like I said, I'm quite happy with that. We made that node on the live stream a while back. It's actually just dilate. All it is a dilate with a blur. You can actually get dilate. See, I have it in another, but you might not have Impact Pack. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's dilate mask, but it has blur and then a handy preview. And like I said, I don't know if, I think this supports, you know, video, but I don't know if it really does. I've not tried, but I know mine does. I made mine for that reason anyway. So yeah, as a result, as you can see now, look, Joe's gone. Yeah, sure, it can't spell, but remember, it's SDXL, so it actually did a pretty good job. I can almost read Joe Rogan Experience. Obviously, a side effect is it's written it down there, which we didn't need it to do, but it doesn't matter, right? So then we'll save this one as well. And like I said, this was the old way of doing things, and I've been working on a new way of doing things, which isn't that new. Everyone's been doing it. We actually announced the Flux tools ages ago, but it was like a 24 gigabyte model, and the FP8 was still 18 gigabytes. So I'm happy to announce we've got a nice little replacement, which is in the next workflow. Okay, so let's just keep going. So obviously the whole point of what I'm doing here was so that I could do image to image and get a different image, which is like this one. Yeah, so if I just switch this over now, okay, so Charles Jaguar, right, FP8 E4 M3N on the T5. Other than that, standard affair, standard Flux Schnell setup. We've got 16:9 on the aspect ratio, which is probably dangerous, but it's going to do image size adjuster and all that stuff. So if I just load up the one we just made, not the one I made earlier, but the one we just made, okay, it's going to take it down to an SDXL size, so 1280 720 is what it is currently, right? We're actually not doing image to image because we don't necessarily want it to look like that. Yeah, we just want the composition. So it's text, it's text to image, one, but then we're going to be using depth anything V2, and I'm using for some reason Flux depth control net V3, which is, like I said, this is also an outdated method. We're going to look at the newer one in a minute. It's not really, it's funny, there's so many ways of doing it, but yeah. So we have depth anything, VitL FB16, we have the depth control net V3. We're going to apply control net to the conditioning, and we're going to use this image as the depth control net input, right? What else are we doing here? Oh, okay, I'm also doing Quen VL and it looks like I was like trying to do word swapping and stuff to change the to make the prompt say the scuffed experience, you know what I mean, just to see if we could swap it over, but it doesn't. I don't think that works. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work, and if it did work, it usually puts the text down here or something silly. Obviously, anyway, I don't want to make it too complicated, so let's just run it. So what is this doing? It's attempting to take this image with depth model, right? And then recreate the words. As it turns out, there's way better ways of doing this. But I just, you know, this is the process, you know. This is like the old setup. And we're going to build a new setup tonight. I've got it working already. I just need to like rebuild the workflow so we can actually read the damn thing. Fair play to the people that put you know, the original creator of the one we're going to look at. Obviously, I'll show you, but it's like how do I put this? Different regions have different ways of putting workflows together. There's nothing wrong with them. Like heavy on the easy use, you know. They love their variables. Dragon Diffusion says, I can run Flux on CPU 3 minutes per generation. See what I mean? I can remember when SD 1.5 would actually take more than 5 minutes to make a 1024 image because you had to upscale it with tiling. So that was only a couple of years ago. So it's like, you know, it's going to get to the point where the CPU is able to run, you know, like we've got Python CUDA coming soon, so we're going to be able to pip package install CUDA, which is crazy. Okay, so let's see how this is coming on. We're over here. Looks like it's loading something. Did it go back? Where did it go? Oh, it's here. It's doing QuenVL. I probably should have disabled that, but whatever. We're not doing image to image anymore, see? I probably should have just copied this and used that. Anyway, so what it's going to do is it's going to, you know, Inpaint. Wait, not Inpaint. It's going to use depth to make a variation of the image. Yeah. There's like this whole automatic text to image to image switch thing going on here, so it makes it more complicated than it actually is. All of this stuff is just logic to deal with, so I can switch it over and not have to change the sizes. Yeah, like the width and height, that's all just width and height automation. Could probably just get rid of all of it. And that as well, it's all to do with it as well. Yeah, that's also the same thing. Same thing. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. It's like nothing really. Oh, okay. Scuffed epoch. Flip. So I think maybe the denoise is a little bit high on that one, but I think you can see what I'm. Yeah. It still says Joe Rogan though, because it's really strong. It's nice though, look at that, the spelling's great. So yeah, it didn't manage to change it though. So, I mean, I could turn the control net. No, I don't want to make it up. Because the problem is, I think what it is the depth can tell that these are raised. And so they're like super strong. Do I have the output? Let's see. Oh yeah, and we'll turn the upscaler off for now. I'm just trying to find the denoise. It should be at 1. Yeah, the denoise is at 1. So that's probably why I actually did put it into image to image mode, so that you can then turn this really quite high, like 0.9, and you'll get a completely different image that should match. We'll see, we'll see. I might have to dial it down. Yeah, look, see, the depth map is spelling out Joe Rogan. Yeah, see? And this is why I was using this to remove, so we'd actually, yeah, now I remember why I had it reactivated, because what I did was I took that and put it in again, but then masked the letters and cleaned them off so that they were no longer in there anymore. Because you see the problem that we have? The problem is that because the letters are 3D, they're in the depth. Look, it's slowly turning into like a movie cinema as well at high denoise, which is kind of cool. Alright, so like I said, you see the challenge here? You can't just change the words like with this setup. You can do it with Flux Fill, which we're going to get to. But, so anyway, so the solution for this one is you take this image, we can do copy clip space, and when we go to this image, we do paste clip space. Alright, so basically it's like a two-stage. We went to the next step too early, if you see what I mean. Right? What we should have done is taken the output of this thing and fed it back into itself with a new prompt and a different mask. So I'll show you that now. So if we go to the mask editor, and then we just, let's get rid of this first. Okay. And then if I go this and I just go an empty white sign. Text. So the target for this one is get rid of that first, and look. I mean, to be honest, do I really need to do the rest? No. Stop. There's no need to do the whole thing. It's fine. This is fine. Okay? So, immediately, straight back in, new mask. Picking up the pace just a little bit, but... so... I probably should do that again. I want to keep some of the edge in. Yeah? So it's got something to hang on to. If you get rid of the top edge, sometimes it goes a bit too creative. Oh, and I've been a bit... Okay, we're going to have to... Okay. I'll just use the eraser and just shave it off a bit. I think. And then I can just put that little bit back. Okay, good. Run it again. That's not bad, but it can do better when I actually give it a prompt. Empty white sign. Now we want to say a detailed rustic wooden backboard with intricate inlays. Let's go for it, right? It's only SDXL. There's the initial. Oh, okay, look at that. It's trying to do something. It's trying to do something. Let's let it cook. So again, see how you can see the edge. We do the ring paint. And now you can still see the edge, but it's like less obvious. Let's see, what did we get from that? Hang on. It could probably do better at the top there. Do you know what? As it's doing so well, I think I will break my golden rule. Because there's this green here is discoloring the generation, the new image. So I'm actually gonna do. I just said don't do it. I'm gonna do it. and it'll go one or two ways. Ooh, I think that might help in this situation. It's because of the yellow. The yellow lighting was causing a green glow. Oh, wow. What the hell? What the heck? Should I give it, like, tell it to put something there? I know. Instead of intricate inlays, what about intricate... What about... I don't know, a carved owl head in the center. I'm just wanting to see what it can let's do. So that's that. It's gone through. That's pretty good. Yeah. Oh wow, that's even better. I'm not trying to make this like a community logo or anything, but golden rule, do what you want. Okay, that's good. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to do paste clip space. There's a lot of that copy paste clip spacing because it's like a gate. We're not automatically just pumping everything through and wasting loads of time, you know? We can like properly say, no, actually I just want to do that. So let's turn this back on and turn this off. We'll use the last one that we did and we'll do the depth with this one. Obviously we're going to have to just clear the mask off. Oh wait, what? Hold up, I got the wrong picture, clearly. Copy. There we go. Cool. Right, now what are we doing down here again? Are we trying to write stupid words on it? Because that's not going to work. There's no point. Okay, so we've done it. All right, we've done it as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to... Well, should I? Oh, I tell you what I could do. Nah, I was going to put the writing on the white bit, but you know what will happen. It's just not going to be able to spell, okay? So, basically, at this point, we're done, right? We've done our thing with Inpainting, okay? I would like to upscale that though. So what I'm gonna do, I think they can get away with it by just doing that and then pumping that into there. I think that'll work, just as a quick and dirty. He didn't like it. It's doing it though. Oh, I should have disabled Quen. That's my bad. You don't need to, because the upscaler just uses very detailed photo UHD 8K. That's all. So yeah, by disabling the save node, everything up to that point should get ignored and it should just go, oh, he wants to load an image and upscale it. So that's my hope. That should be disabled. So here it goes. Right, so I just want to basically upscale this image here because I think it will look even better if we do. And then when it shrinks down, it will benefit from it. Okay, it's an old photography trick. Shrinking stuff down. Because we didn't just expand it and shrink it, you know, we're adding detail and then shrinking the detail. Okay, that's good. We'll take that, save it. Cool. Right, so if I go back to this thing here, instead of scuffed, and you see all that there, that's all because of what we're about to show you. But yeah, so scuffed, if I now use the one with the owl, because you can't see the number anyway, you can't see the logo anyway, right? But let's go to the next one, because this is actually kind of more interesting. This is a new setup. This is what we've been building towards for the last hour, so take a little stretch and look around the room, all right? Because I don't want you to get like impacted spines. Okay, right. We're going to be using the Flux One FilDev Q80, which is from not that person, this person, second dash state Flux One FilDev GGUF. I'm going to be posting that in the Discord on the Hugging Face. I'm going to be using the Q8 because it's 12.8 gigabytes. There are a lot of these out there, and they include the VAE in both clips, so they're huge. This one is just the weights. So, Dragon Diffusion says, doing 3D as well, called over-rendering. You make 4K, but shrink down to HD, and it removes artifacts. Hell yeah. Makes sense when you think about it, as long as you don't end up like just mashing the artifacts together to make a mega artifact. So yeah, I'm using Q8. Obviously there are even smaller versions going all the way down to Q2K, which I doubt is very good. Usually Q2 is bad, but it's Q2K, which is significant because it means it doesn't have full Q2. Never go full Q2 is one of those things right now. So yeah, as you can see, Q2, but it has F32. It has F32 for a lot of the other stuff. I've always wondered, why don't they put the other stuff to F16? And my guess is because it's actually a very small amount of data. So like one file or equivalent. Whereas, because you can even see here, look, 128, 3072, and then 3072 by 3072, that gets quantized. 3000 by a carbon 90, so you see what I mean? I think this is like the bulk of it, and these are just references. But then by not quantizing them, then, you know, what's the point? They're only, I suppose it's a bit like saying you've got a movie in your folder, you only need to zip the movie, the text file didn't need to be compressed, really. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get much compression benefit from a single text file, but the video you would. It's just a way to think about it. I'm not trying to like explain this technically at all. I just provide ways of thinking about it that allow you to be a little more intuitive without having to read all the papers and develop square eye syndrome. Okay, so as I say, I recommend the Q8. That's what we're going to be using. Now this workflow comes from Chenwei, I think. I don't know if I didn't say that properly, I'm very sorry. It could be just Chen Yeah. Not sure. Anyway, those are the links. It's called Comfy UI Inpaint Easy. It has its own custom node set, which I've installed. Okay, so it's actually a custom node set. It's not just a workflow. This is like, you know, an example from the author as far as I know. Okay, so they've given us a workflow which is quite complicated but also easy to understand, really, right? Flux FilDev is normally gated. Is that Jujuf gated? No, because it comes with the same license terms, so don't worry about it. It even says so. Where's somewhere? Look, T5 clip and AE not provided. And where's the license info? We all know. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You'll be okay. There it is. Look, Flux One Dev non-commercial, because it is. It's, you know, it's non-commercial dev. But anyway, let's just keep going. You know, what's in the sausage? We don't think are there government regulations already? I don't remember that happening. I must have missed the I must have missed the update. So, dual clip loader VAE, same Flux affair, same clip, same. So if you've run Flux, you've already got these. So that's why it's nice to just get the dev at 12 gig in Q8 or smaller, right? Q6 and Q4 are going to be fine, all right? So now what he's done, obviously, this I actually don't mind. This is a good use of easy use, because all he's done is set model, VAE, and conditioning. Those are things which he's going to use a lot. The only reason I think this is, because the thing is, look, like, if these weren't pinned and they were spread far apart, you know, it'd be fine, right? But check this out, right? So we're going to re-noodle this real quick. Okay, so wait for it. Noodling time. Let's do it. It's time to put some noodles in the mix. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this one. We're going to make a reroute. We've done this so many times now, guys. We're going to take that one there. See that there? What's this? Conditioning plus. Move it in. Done. Okay. And then there's another one down here. Conditioning plus. Move it in. I can't see because of these stupid overlays. Look. Get it off the... Dude, get out of the way. I am trying to be helpful. Okay, cool. So that is now done. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. And I believe there are no more. That's my upscaling stuff. So yeah, that's it. Done. Right? Done. Yeah. One. I'll put it there. Okay, now we're going to bring this guy up here. I'm going to do the same thing. Drag it off. Make a reroute. Every time I type RER, it's like messing with Comfy. Okay, there's Conzu. That's the negative conditioning. Shift click, drag it in. Negative conditioning again. Shift click, drag it in. Get the annoying things out the way. Get out the way. Annoying things, get out the way. I actually like this new feature, but I wish they would go away. It's probably I just need to click off of it, don't I? So click off. And that's that done. So we'll bring that one down to there. Let's do model next. Can you see how easy it is to re-noodle? And it's partly because the guy didn't go crazy and noodle he didn't do it. He only did 4. He didn't do an excessive amount. But we're still going to re-noodle it either way. So there's a VAE. There's a VAE. Drag a reroute here. And then drag them in like that. Delete that. Delete that. Get the other one. Drag it in. There we go. So now we've got red. VAE out. We've got conditioning minus in yellow. We've got conditioning plus in yellow. And then we've got model. Can't even see it. Okay. So now we can get rid of those. Okay, so that is model, conditioning plus, conditioning 0 out because there is no negative, and VAE. I think what I might do just to clean this up a bit actually, is bring that down to there. Okay, that's good enough for now. So having re-noodled, what we're going to do, we're just going to check it works. So obviously we're going to need an image. Now let's do this. Let's do the simple one first because I don't want to go crazy. Turn the upscaler off. Right. So first of all, we've got this here. We're gonna put. I want to use the one that we have made. So there. See that? Yeah. Let's say I want to change the owl. Right. Yeah. It's a reasonable thing. I want a bear. I've decided that I'm going to commission a new art piece for my back wall in the podcast studio, guys. We're going to have a wooden carved bear, maybe. I keep moving the buttons all over the place, man, every time I use it. Alright. I think I might have missed a bit, but we're going to run with it. So we're using 1408 by 768, which is good because it's massive. Right now it's upscaled to 28, but we're going to shrink it down. And we're going to use Shaka Labs Union Control Net, this is a KJ Nodes upgrade. Also, when I loaded this workflow, all of this stuff was all wrong. I had to recreate and hook everything up again. I don't know why. I guess they must have changed it since making the example. You need a wooden carved doggo. Okay, we'll do a dog instead of a bear. You want a husky? We'll try a husky. So let's read this. Let's write this. It's going to be wooden. What was it? High quality, intricate. I love intricate. Intricately. I might drop it. It might be too much, but intricately carved wooden husky or wolf. Just say wolf. Yeah. Yeah. Wolf head or wolf face. Yeah. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so again, it's going to be Depth Anything V2, so it's the same sort of tools that we were using before. Slight change, we're going to use Shaka Labs ControlNet Union with KJ Node's Fix, because it doesn't fit, it never picks the right one, and he's fixed it so it does. I think it was just in the wrong order, but whatever. Putting it on auto. And like I said, I've been really happy with this. Like, obviously it does take a little second to load up the GJuff for the first time. So I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, takes a little time on the clip. But that's okay, because it's coffee time. I need more of this stuff. It's not enough. Water. I need water. Right. Where were we? Okay, so what have we been doing tonight? We've been taking a look at various inpainting techniques. We've covered SDXL, we've covered Focus Patch, and we've done a whole bunch of different things. But what we're looking at right now is we're looking at the incredibly accessible 12GB Flux One Fill Dev Q80 by second state on Hugging Face. Comes in at 12.8 in Q8. I do recommend the Q4K, it's actually quite good. I don't have it on this machine. I have it in the cloud. But anyway, on the cheap cloud, we're trying to work on some experiments to make the run pods cheaper, but that's by the by. So high quality, intricately carved wooden wolf face. For some reason I have misgivings. Yeah, look, see. Conditioning is quite low. That might be something to do with the inpainting process. But yeah, let's have a look at the output. It's not great, is it? So why is there a preview and a save image? Just get rid of that one. It's pointless. Okay, not stellar. Bit of a mess, actually. I wonder why. Wait, why is the CFG 1? Oh. At the risk of destroying the universe, let's put that to 3.5, like I would expect it to be. And to be fair, the steps are a bit low, but again, I don't want to step on the toes of the inpainting setup is good. When I tried text, it worked really well. I think it's because we're trying to build on top of quite a noisy example. Whoops, wrong button. So, before and after. But this is still the basic example. So let's just run through what it is while it's just finishing, okay? So you guys all know about model loading, clip texting code. You know about the zero out to get the negative. You already know about all that. Oh look, we've got a bunch of stuff we don't need no more. Okay. But this is the magic right here. So you get your image, you do image and mask resize. Man, I needed that when I was building that other workflow the other day. So yeah, this is part of the Comfort Inpaint Easy custom nodes, which is obviously what we're using to run the workflow. So if you drop the workflow in, it's going to give it, oh yeah, it did a great job actually. That's not bad. That's not bad. Save that. Right, shame we didn't upscale that one actually. Right, so it has a control net auto, it has depth, so that means it should recognize a depth map and do depth map mode, right? The inpaint image comes from the resize, and then you've got your control there, so it's like a lot easier to use. You don't need focus, you're not stuck with SDXL, and it's Q8 or lower, so you can use it on an under 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Okay, I did experiment with putting the guidance up, but it's best to be at the default. So I did mess around with a lot of the settings, you know, aside from your own personal taste with sampler and steps, you know, choices. Yeah, and it's obviously was way better with 3.5. 1.0 should have been a Schnell model, so it's interesting they were using 1.0 with the dev model. As you can see, we've turned the owl into the wolf quite nicely. It's not perfect, but the thing is we haven't upscaled it. This is still 1408 by 768. Okay. So, oh, and the depth I used was 768. I think the default is 512, so I changed that as well. Typically I would actually go for 30 steps, but I'm worried that it'll be sharper than what's around it. If you notice, there's a bit of soft focus, and there you don't want it to be too sharp because it will stick out. But anyway, enough of this side. Let's go to the next side. So if I just take a copy clip space here and paste the clip space here, we can turn on the advanced setup. And for some reason that's too far outside. We're going to clean this up in a minute and make two workflows, a basic and an advanced. So we're now going to take a look at the advanced one. So let's just delete this, change the shape of that, put them next to each other. So this is the last output I got. A bit dirty really, but yeah. It was all in Chinese as well, but I just translated it for you all. So we're going to put this one into Den Goods 3. 1408 by 768 is what I'm trying to force. across so it'll match with the other workflow. Crop by mask. I've never seen that before. Crop by mask. So where's it getting the crop from? No. Oh, it's doing 40 padding on it. Okay. Interesting. 1024 on the depth anything V2 L. Look. What? It's completely different. See, I'm used to doing it like here. Relative 768, and he's pushed it into 1024. So higher res depth map. Also, I've done this. It had the broken one before, so we fixed that. And again, that was broken. We had to redo it and fix that as well. Scuffed. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty scuffed. Anyway, so we're going to be doing the same thing, right? We're going to make the wolf, but this time we're going to use a couple of extra bits and pieces, like the image crop merge. Okay. What else? Yeah. So it does a crop. So here we go. Padding parameters are used to control the content range of the redrawn image. The larger the range, the more relevant the content will be to the original image. However, if the range is too large and new content cannot be generated, more video memory are required. Make sense? Yes. Fernicar says it does help to render just the masked area plus the 40 padding. Yeah. And I think this is nice as well, because when you think about it, right, we weren't able to do inpainting on super high-res images. But when you're only working on the bit that is, you're only working on the bit, you could take a small patch from a very large image and you could do mosaic work like this, which is something I'm interested in. But anyway, we're not doing that today. So let's just run this one and see what it gets us. And then after that, I'll turn on my bottom row, which is my upscale stage 1. It's just the boosted upscaler. We use it everywhere. The only modification that you see here is I've added in an additional line that takes the original dimensions. So we're actually going to, this is brilliant. This is so funny. So make the image. Oh no. Hang on, I think I changed something, didn't I? Yeah. Look, CFG is far too weak, guys. Okay, run it again. We got the upscaler on this time. I think we fixed it. But yeah, what we should end up with is something which is kind of like, on par with the original in terms of quality. That's confusing. Yeah, it's about the same. Not bad. And then we're going to push that into my upscaler, which is going to make it look like even better. Look at that. I like this. I love this technique. This technique is so good because you could just patch and patch and patch and patch and patch. You could inpaint. You could automate the inpaint. Anyway, I'm not going to get crazy. The point is, we're upscaling the result now. And we're going to be doing that with Shuttle Jaguar Q80. So the outputs are, final outputs are from Schnell. Or a fine tune of Schnell anyway. So, let's just back the truck up a little second here. A little bit of a design error. Like that. There we go. So, just like before, this is the basic setup here. Okay, obviously we've got our model and prompts, okay? Model, prompts, yeah. This is the original image, which I'm just using for comparison. This is the advanced setup, which uses that sort of masked patching idea. So in case you didn't grasp that, because we did go over it really fast, the simple concept is normally when you inpaint an image, you inpaint the whole image. Okay? But with this setup, And that one is like this setup here. So that, the basic, it's the whole image that gets inpainted. But the advanced setup, okay, it only does the masked box, if you will. It's a way to think about it. So you can see that there, that is actually what you know, it lifts out what you masked and just does that bit, basically. With the size that you asked for as well, of course. Because otherwise, you know, you did ask for 1,000 depth map, so it will be 1,000. But anyway, so there's the image. And say I want to inpaint just this bit, it's only that bit, whereas this is the whole thing. That's the difference, as far as I know. And then, as Fernicar mentioned, there is like a 40 pixel padding area. I think it goes around it, doesn't it? Yeah, I believe so. But like I said, this is going to be a smaller image, so it's going to be way more efficient to do it that way. And then obviously the fact that oh my god, the fact that Flux Fill is available in GJUF means it's 12 gigabyte or lower, which is much nicer, because then what it means is we can do something like what we've got here, where we have Flux Dev and then we have Jaguar finishing it off. You can't tell. You can't tell it's an eye. Anyway, you get the point. Alright. Let's see how it got on. I don't think it's finished. Did I change tabs or something? Where's my... Oh, I forgot to change the input. Right. Stupid. So yeah, my bad. Okay, so copy clip space, paste clip space, and run it again. Well, there's no need to run that now. Just do the last bit. So this bit, which is interesting as well, actually, like this is what I was talking about with the photography tricks, okay? Like we could have added a bit of noise and then it would be even better. I haven't done that. But essentially what we're doing is we're taking the image, that's the image coming in, we get the size of the image and then resize it to the same dimensions. That gets sent to the alignment for the clip, okay? So that means that that's going to be generating at whatever the image is that we're using. Obviously we've got our model loaders just here. You've also got tiling on the way in and tiling on the way out, and that's going to be at 1024 usually. Sometimes I use 768. It depends. Again, it depends what you're doing. Oh yeah, and so this is going to be the 2K image, right? But this is going to be the squashed. Probably can't see that, I'm writing all over myself right now, but yeah, so the squash is going to go back into the video workflow as a background because it's the same size. It's going to get squashed anyway, so I may as well do it here. Okay, let's have a little bit of a more closer look at the finished product, as it were. Do you know what? It's not bad. It almost tried to make it look like fur, though, don't you think? And also, it's looking directly at the camera, and this is on an angle. So the problem with this is that it makes it... Because, look, imagine if you were actually facing this head-on. The bear is looking slightly to the left. And we just happen to be where it's facing dead-on, like, okay. That's a bit weird. Also, the knobs and stuff on here are strange, but whatever. Whatever. It did what we wanted it to do at the end of the day. So if I now save that and go back to the master project that we're working on, I will paste that one in there. I think the owl is actually better because, you know what I mean? It's still observing. It's not upscaled, but it's observing the, you know, the 3D. The perspective isn't destroyed. Like if I put this one in here. Oh no! Where did that come from? Does that mean it has a different... Oh, I know what happened. There we go. It's just I downloaded it. Yeah, so it's a bit weird that it's looking directly at the camera. It should be at an angle like the owl was. Do you know what? I think I will put the owl through just to see what that looks like as well. Oh wait, we got this one. Let's try that one out. We can run that one through the upscaler. See how that one comes out. Different wolf. Woof. Yeah. Knobs and switches, guys. Knobs and switches. Maybe one of them's got USB. Oh, it's nearly finished already. So yeah, it comes out at 2816 by 1536, which is respectable. So whatever it is, if the image comes out and it's good, it's like a usable standard size. That's actually very good. It's still kind of looking at the camera though, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as the other one was. So we'll save that, take it back, and keep going. Right, here we go. Drop that one in there like that. There we go. Perfect. Cue it. Copy clip space. And paste clip space. Cue this one. These are all just little comparer tools I've got. They're not to do with the workflow. It's so I can see, you know, how it lines up at the end, you know, like when all is said and done, look, the cabinet ends in the right place. It starts in the right place. It even has the same... It's got those things on there. That's a bit dirty, but to be honest, compared with the original, it's very close. A little bit cleaner, actually. Obviously, the mic cuts off because we're gonna plant that back. All right. Okay. All right. The other thing is, yeah, the mic. Could we do a better job with the mic? You see what I mean? I think it'll be fine. I think less is more with masks. The problem is that I made it hard for myself by doing mask on top of mask. And I think maybe just take the soften off. Or no, one soften, one edge reserve, shrink 6. I might go shrink 5 this run. And then blur 2, grow 4. I'm just trying to push my luck with this edge because it is getting smaller, but it's so tough, dude. It's so tough because look, it's probably like another 4 pixels in places. Oh man, I'm just merging into his head. Right. What's this one down here? Yeah, so this will be 1 frame of the final, so we can get a... So let's just run that. Now, that will take a second, so I'm going to save it. And then we're going to start talking about Johnson's next collaborative project. So let's see what we're going to do here. This is an interesting one. I want to see what you guys think about this, because we've got a lot of budding AI writers in the community, and you know, we do a lot of writing. Okay. Funnily enough, I should probably make like a sitting at a typewriter scene for when we do these discussions. But yeah, essentially what we're looking at is a Scuffed Digest. That's what I'm calling it. It's not the real name. It's a working title, okay? Scuffed Digest. So what is that? I run Scuffed Epoch, and we do all kinds of different generative media projects, collaborative efforts and stuff. And so what we thought was, there's something called Reader's Digest. It's quite popular. And so what we thought was doing, I mean, look, I don't think Scuffed died. Well, to be honest, you're kind of playing with fire, aren't you? Because people say AI is scuffed, you know? So Scuffed Digest is basically a small monthly publication, which we do digitally, okay? It's not like in print. I'm not trying to make like a magazine, guys, but it's a similar format, if you see what I mean. And the idea is that we get other people in the community to submit one chapter of one of their stories, and we invite them to submit serialized. So every month you give us another chapter. Now you're like, oh, what? It sounds like a lot of work, Johnson. Okay, but the reality is we've got the inversion tool that can write us 30 chapters in a single night, and then you can just sit on them. You've got 3 years of content to drip out. You could just give it to me and then I'll just put it in every issue. So, because I want this to be an AI writer's thing. There's plenty of other stuff for traditional writing, but there's nothing for AI writers. Yeah, I know everybody's working on stuff, right? And so what? We want a bit of sci-fi, we want a bit of romance, we want a bit of adventure, we want a bit of fantasy, we want a bit of whatever, a little bit of everything. That was the idea. So I don't know if we're going to start doing it soon, but I want to start talking about it now, right? Because there will be like a website and a GitHub and all that good stuff, right? I don't know, I'll probably just host it on my main site for now. That's why I'm going to call it Scuffed Digest for now. But it's not really about me, it's about an AI Writers Guild, put it that way, right? And Scuffed Digest is just my idea, like, how are we going to get there? Do you know what? I'm just going to start here. Check it out. So, Scuffed Digest, okay? AI focus. Yeah? Right. Serialization. Serializations. Short stories. You see? This is what I'm thinking. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking that's all it is. It could just be a PDF. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to exist. Yeah? And then you can have a list on the website people can download, buy it, right? Or not buy it. See, that's like going to automatic business brain. What I'm saying is, like, you can just download it for free. Buy it. Buy my free book. Yeah? So yeah, the point is, and then what I thought was, anybody can get involved in it then. You can have a pen name that you write your stories under. You could submit more than one story, because think about it. You've got, you could give us just one chapter at a time. And the thing is, there's enough of us in the community right now that can already do it. The rules are similar to the Discord. Yes. The rules are similar to, yeah, so, okay. The only rules we have would be the same rules you'd find anywhere else. We're not trying to be like pirates, you know, we're not trying to change the world like that. Yeah, we're not trying to be like, oh, AI has its own rules. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you want to write about stuff, obviously it's going to be subject to the same rules, because we don't want to get sued. Come on, guys. You know? But the point I'm trying to make is, if you want to write stories and you want to submit a chapter every month, that's the invitation. Whether people take up on it is a completely different story. Do you know what I mean? But I think there's enough of us, and I think we all have a story that we could submit a chapter on. And even if we only do it for like a couple of months, I would like to do it. So this is something I'm going to be organising. So yeah, that was why I wanted to talk about that. But there'll be more information about that soon. So What was the other thing I wanted to do? Oh yeah, that's right. So here we go. We're going to open a new folder. We're going to jump into tools, and I'm going to call it super short. Okay, super short. All right. So I'm going to go super short, and then I'm going to go and grab, like, you know, one of my story buckets. Let's see if I can actually find anything today. It's been a while since I've... Man, it's been a long time. Narrative spittoon inversion. Right. Is this... Oh, the body floated down the canal. That's... Remember? These are all books. They're different books. You know, you look around your hard drive. If you've been following along with the projects that we do, if you just look around your hard drive, you'll probably find a few books just like lying there that you forgot about, that we did in a tutorial like 4 weeks ago or something. It's funny. It's actually funny. You're like, oh yeah, look, here's another one. I just found another one. Is there a story in here? Yep. It's another detective story. This is a pretty good one. So what I'll do is I'll take this page as my last page. Yeah. And I think it's got to be in the folder called story to be recognized. In caps. So this is the last page of my story, okay? It's actually longer than it looks, but it's not that long, right? I probably made it with Gemini. I don't remember. See, one thing I've started doing as well is I've been making new files in all my projects that contain the prompts, the date, what I was doing, because I'll be honest, we do everything so quickly, so fast. Even I can't remember what the hell some of these are. You know, like, what was the process that created this? Do we remember? Which computer did I do it on? It's lost like tears in the rain. So we want default. This is going to be referred to. So default, because this is, you know, it's the stilts, right? So default, that's the story bucket for this story type. And then the only thing I need now is the prompt. I don't need to download, you know, the repo that I gave everybody. You don't actually need it. The funny thing about the process is you only actually need the prompt and your story stuff. This is purely to help you understand, but to give you examples of everything, right? Okay. So all you really need is the prompt. You don't need any information from there at all. Obviously, if you're going to use the default, then yeah. But right, so this is my idea, okay? We've got the 6-page story here, which is currently, the working thing, right? This is what it is. And so I want to go 3-page. We're going to do a 3-page story for the Writers Club section, okay? So what we've done is we've just done a speed run on setting up narrative inversion. Okay, we're ready to go. Just like that. Go like this, boom. Right now, story, yeah. Page 5 enhanced, that's it. Now obviously the paths are wrong, right? So there, default. Oops. There, so that's correct now. It's always important, you've got to make sure that the prompt has actually got, you know, the links that you're using, otherwise you're going to have all types of issues. Just make sure we get the enhanced right here. There we go. Now, like I said, copy. This is a new thing I'm doing. Before I run a prompt, I'll actually make a new folder called plan, and then make a new folder inside it called plan.txt, and then I'm going to paste the prompt and just say Christ, okay, go prompt, and then I'm going to write some details here, because otherwise I won't remember, guys. I'm just going to say inversion from page 5 underscore enhance dot text renamed to page 2 dot text. So yeah, I forgot about that. I'm glad I actually had written notes up. I was about to just let it rip. Page 2. Okay, using default, what was it? Default Westwick narrative bucket. Alright, so we're going to be testing 3-page story with save the cat in reverse. We'll do that one just for a Mr. Super Fake name. He was asking me about that loads, and it does work. So if we take a look at the prompt we've got here, I mean, for a start, we need to change that to page 3, right? And then save the cat in reverse. So hero's journey in reverse. There we go. And then page 3, write page 2, because remember. Page 3. Let's just double check all these links are good. A single page at a time. Right. So in case you're not familiar with narrative spittoon inversion, it's my own thing. I built it myself, trying to solve this problem of wandering cognition in LLMs. Trying to build a bridge to nowhere doesn't work, but building a little bridge backwards in steps works great. Also, you can do foreshadowing, because actually he already wrote the future, which unlocks a whole bunch of cool setup and payoff type abilities. So this is the prompt. Default project instructions.txt, which we'll look at in a minute. So this is messed up. Let's just delete that there. Don't know why that's there. There. We can use the project instructions to write a story in reverse by guessing what happened in the scene. We will adhere to the project instructions when speculating, writing a single page at a time. We will define the process methodology for this task in planning mode, then I will supply the final page of the story. We will then follow the default project instructions while we read the story, understand the... This is a list, by the way. I don't know why it's not converted to be one, but this is a list. So read the story, page 3, understand the instructions, write page 2, which aims to tell the story of how we reached page 3. Use the data linked in the project instructions to inform the story content. Repeat the instruction for each page until you reach page 0, which will be the start of the story. As you step through the pages, use save the cat in reverse. Averaged over the 6 pages, which works really well because 6 points on a wheel. It's I did a hero's journey to introduce elements to the story as you write each page. Now a page becomes a chapter, okay? And then I've got some notes for myself, like what the hell did I do? So let's just update that prompt. Wait, we don't want to copy the top bit, just that bit. Paste that and plan. Okay, now while it's cooking, let's have a look at the project instructions. So all the project instructions is a manifest of all the files that are in the bucket. The narrative bucket determines all kinds of stuff, flowcharts, JSON, lists of like words, special words, you know, glossary of terms and nomenclatures, okay? And then obviously we've got writing rules, ghostwriting style, and there's actually a holographic tutor built into this, but you probably don't need that. But it does allow you to actually score your book at the end and like give you some feedback on it. Most of the stuff you need to know about is here. Content structure. So you defined your world, characters, and how they talk. Alright, like I said, you can drill into this, you can add way more. There is a limit to how much you can add, because eventually he'll lose the attention. But yeah. Fernicar says it seems code could use the same inverse method. Yeah, that's exactly how we got to tins. There is no source. We decided to do inversion like this to predict what the code looks like when looking at the README file, and that's how that's how we did it. Yeah, I think that was what we were talking about. It was me and Fernicar were talking about this writing method, and yeah, code can. That's the whole idea. If it says, oh, Python image resizer.py, it's like, oh, it's a Python script that resizes image, and it's already thinking about what the code looks like before you've even asked for it, you know? Because it's all implied by just the file name. That's why you should always use semantic file names with AI. Not like 1234628bt. That's not going to work. If you use semantics, when I say semantic, I mean it's named after what it is. It can be quite tricky sometimes, though. So yeah, we close that, we close the plan, and there's our final page. Our final page is coming in at 3,400 characters right now, and as it was enhanced, I know that was written with Gemini, the free Gemini that just recently was popularized. Alright, let's take a look at the thing here. I need to understand Save the Cat beat structure to properly understand it. Could you clarify which specific beats from Save the Cat you'd like me to incorporate? I'm just going to say choose them at random for now because I'm not too bothered about it. Like, in fact, even better, surprise me. It's just funny. Surprise me. It's only got to write 2 pages, but my idea is writing shorter stories with faster resolutions. Okay, that's the idea. So I'll create a structured approach. Save the Cat beats. Page 2 final. Page 1 Dark Night of, and page 0. Page 2 final resolution. Page 1 climactic. Page 0 case. It's almost like we're going away from stories and we're going towards a comic strip, like a 3-strip. Okay, now I appreciate this is going to be really long, okay, but we're slowly going from writing books to writing a panel, right? So it's slowly rearranging all the logic to make it do less. So we already know it can write an entire book in like a couple of hours, and it's accurate, right? Minimal editing to get it fixed by doing this way, by going backwards, right? And I've already given all of this away. It's up on the GitHub, MIT, take it, fork it, do what you want with it, okay? But yeah, essentially, it's going to tell us, this is all the stuff it's going to do. Like I said, I trust the process. I have full confidence in him. I know the programming will catch everything. Maybe he'll repeat himself. I have pointed that kind of thing out before. He might say, the man was walking into the bar and there was a moody atmosphere. The man walked into the bar and noticed the moody atmosphere was moody. The man who had just walked into the bar, his mood was atmospheric. You know, it's like, obviously it's going to be more complicated than that. It's harder to detect, but you can sometimes get it. You can sometimes get the feeling that it's like, why are you telling me that again? You just told me that. And that's the only weakness in the system. But if a human editor can fix that in a draft with like a cup of coffee in one hand and a pen in the other, it's not even difficult. So it's like so negligible, it's not even worth complaining about. In fact, sometimes I think that if people complain about the weaknesses in AI writing, maybe that just draws more attention to the fact that there's weaknesses in your own writing. Because, you know, it should be easy to overcome. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you're such a good writer and you want to crap on AI, it's like, well, surely this is like easy for you then, because the amount of editing that you have to do when you set up the AI right is like minimal. Very, very small amount of work to get it actually into a draft and then published. And I'm actually thinking, like I said, I like to put my money where my mouth is. So you will see some books hitting up on my Amazon soon. I'm going to self-publish a couple. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, well, it's good. Do you know what I mean? It's good. All it is putting it into a PDF file and uploading it. It doesn't cost you nothing. It's just like, and it's not even that much time. It used to take, Used to take years. Anyway, so we have page 0, page 1, page 2. The end. Rain drummed against my office. I kind of like this. It's shorter, it's snappier, it's cheaper. And the thing is, it's still quite wordy, but not much has been said. You could compress this down into a couple of pages of image panels. That's what I'm aiming for, guys. You all saw my project Auto Panel. Auto Panel's done. Image Converter just came out today as well. So this is a bulk image. No, wait, that's not today. A different one came out. The 199, nearly at Repo 100, ladies and gents. So yeah, Caption Edit CLI came out. Auto Panel CLI is the one I was talking about. That's the new one, Caption Edit. That's for training and stuff. So, Comic Panel Composer, Windows users, right? It automatically lays out the comics when you have generated images and put them into the right order. Okay? So then what I want to do is I want to turn my narrative spittoon into something that makes shorter form stories, because the books are too long. You can't convert that. If you converted one of my books into story panels, it would be like 500 pages long. And yeah, we could automate that, but who's going to read it? Who's going to buy it? It'd be like £100 in paper and ink. It's stupid. So what I decided to do instead is basically rework the writing tool so that it's less verbose and it's more able to just make scenes for converting to comic panels. And then all we have to do is take each page and convert it into image prompts and speech bubbles. Simple. So this is the direction I'm going in with my writing research now. And again, this is another reason why I want to be looking at serialization, because instead of serving up the entire story on a plate, why not release a chapter every week? If people like it, they'll come back every week and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, I get to read another chapter of that story every week. And then you see how we're heading towards that AI Reader's Digest type thing, whatever it ends up being called. Okay. So yeah, this is shorter. It's still quite long though, so I might program a new, like a comic inversion. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of a spittoon inversion, which is for story writing, instead do a comic inversion, which takes the same narrative bucket, same setup, and you still work with it like this, but it's less text. You know what I mean? Because you only need to describe one page, right? Each page only needs to describe one page of it's like 6 image panels and some speech bubbles. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the minute. Can't wait to solve it, because I know I'll solve it. It's just gonna, because books is actually harder. It's kind of harsh to say it, but books is actually harder. To drag it all out and have it not look like crap when you read it, it's a lot harder to do. Making it shorter, the trick is it not being repetitive, because obviously you can't have Batman just chasing the Joker every week. It's got to have a bit more variety than that, you know what I mean? So, but that's just my opinion. Scooby-Doo, on the other hand, can chase ghosts every week. It's always the same ending and nobody cares. So think about that, you know, when you're designing your format. You know, these are the sorts of things that I'd be thinking about anyway. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, automatic comic production, because, like, not being funny, but some of these image models that we're looking at now are getting a bit good. Speaking of image models, I do want to finish off the show with announcement of the Empire style run. So it looks like, please don't be, thank God, it's still training the style model. See, the actual character models are done, they look great, okay, but the style model is really important, because what I've done with this project is I've made it like 2 halves. In fact, let's go into art time. Yeah, let's finish this off with art time tonight. All right. So yesterday I had a crazy idea. I said, why don't we train consistent characters, right? But then I emptied this entire thing out yesterday. So why don't we have consistent characters, right? But then we can have as many consistent characters as we want, and then we'll apply the style model like a wrapper around it. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. If I go into my tools folder, I've got current projects. Come on, where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. Because we drew this up. Where's that image gone? Goated? That's not it. Hey, that's something else. Hang on. Model merging, model in paint. No, they're workflows. Come on. Wait. No, that's something else as well. Do you know when you're trying to find one file? It's a nightmare. Hey, there it is. Now, now listen, this was put together with some really expensive software, so please, you know, just, I know it's hard to read sometimes, but it's the result of Microsoft money. So we have character laurers, okay? They have the same images, okay? So images, character laurers, many character laurers, blue dot, yeah. We have style laura, purple dot, wrapped around blue dot. We also have different style, okay? Same images, right? So this is what I'm trying to show, is that we have character, yeah, and then we apply a style wrapper to it. So instead of trying to have a consistent style on our characters, we just make the character consistent on its own, no matter what the medium. Photo, doesn't matter. Photo is best, funnily enough, because it's got more detail, right? So we're defining it. And then say you have anime style, 3D style, video game style, okay? You wrap that around your character, and if you think about it, like, the reason this is going to work isn't because I'm just slamming them together, but because the images on both sides have the same captions. Same images, same captions, okay? And that's how we make it align, all right? Okay, so then we got a style model, which is currently, that's the last one to train. We have the style model to apply to our character models. That's the idea. And the locations, we haven't even trained locations yet. Now I'm noticing I've got 10 minutes left, so I want to make this count for you guys. So what we have here is the output from the character model. This is some of the infantry from this Empire storyline I want to illustrate, okay? Now, there were some weaknesses identified in the captions. As it turns out, Halo 3 managed to sneak into my scout model for some reason. So, I don't know how, like, this is pretty fat, but it's actually got, like, Halo 3 in it somehow, okay? So, I have to, like, go through and audit the captions and make sure there's nothing stupid in them. Because, look, see this? The image depicts a scene from the video game Halo 3. I think he looks like one of those little guys. You know, the little guy, look, it's given him a big head and a stubby body with little legs and a gun. It's turned him into one of those little aliens, anyway, like the grunts. Anyway, so this is what can happen when you do use a captioner, and that's why it's like a multi-stage process to retrain the models, all right? So hopefully Empire Style finishes tonight, but that does mean, yeah, we're going to be retraining Scout at the very least, yeah. Big Doggo finished as well, and I trained it as a character model, and it came out okay, but for some reason she's got short hair. I don't know why. She looks great, like the model looks great, but for some reason she's ended up with short hair, which is a bit strange. I mean, she wasn't like a long-haired dog, but it wasn't like that short. I don't know. Maybe I'm just quibbling. Maybe I just need to change the sampler. But it did train really well. The dog looks like my dog. That's my dog, you know? Crazy. Never used to be able to do that. Even a bit of drool. Right. So, we've looked at these three things. That's the Empire run. So, I promised you I would show you the freaking mid-journey side of it. So let's have a look, shall we? Mid-journey. Here we go. I promised you we'd have a little bit of fun with the robot horses. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at how this was put together, shall we? If I go use, we can take a look. So if we look at the personalizations, we're using the global V7 profile. Okay, it says right there, look. We're also using Style Raw V7, Stylized 200, AR32, Chaos 40. The prompt is wide shot, Victorian, redcoat, lone hussar, dystoptian, because I can't type, dystoptian, long grasses, cybernetic horse crusade, fortress on the steppe, massive scale, comma, epic sci-fi fortifications overgrown with long grasses, chaos 40, blah, 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 profile. Feel free to use my profile. It's like 200 image tune. It's a 200 image tune, and it should give you this sort of style. Now, what else did we do? We used 2 images that are photographic bias as style references, and then we've used a whole bunch of my favourite scenes from the run of various different soldiers in their garb. Okay? Yeah, genre dystopian. Yeah, let's keep it dystopian, shall we? Just to make sure, you know, get the spice right. Okay. And so then off we go. And like I said, I can just go rerun, 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 rerun. Anyway, you get the idea. That's Mid-Journey for you. Oh, we asked. You asked for too much. Now, are we even going to get horses? This is the funny thing. When I did this, because I've got so many images that don't have horses. Okay, so we're going to have to solve that, right? Hang on. So, okay, so the way you do it, this is quite funny. The way you do it is you grab the prompt. So, see, there's no horses in these prompts at all. And the reason is because of the images, right? So if I say use, and then I scroll down to the horse, and then I go image, it's going to add it. So now, let's get rid of a couple of these. Yeah. And then we'll actually actively try to seek out some more of them. Look at these cool. I love it. It's such a good style. I hope that when it's fully trained, it actually works. Yeah, look, I figured it out now. They tried to put big hats on everything, even the buildings. Where them horses at? This is all upscales and stuff. Riflemen. Very cool. Like I said, this is the first time in a year that Mid-Journey's been good enough to go back and mess around with for the evening, you know? Like, I've never really felt like it was worth going back to it since last summer. And I had a good old binge, did 1,000 images in a night, had a great time, got loads of stuff out of it. Loads of style data to learn. My God, man, it's so cool. I just love this giant geometric head thing. I don't know what it is. It's an interesting concept to me. It's not something you see every day, I'll put it that way. Except in Minecraft, lol. Right, so keep going, I'm sure. Oh yeah, look, paratroopers. You just get wings. It's fine. They can't fall fast, so you'd make sense. You could glide, I guess. Yeah, there's more horses down here somewhere. I don't know where the hell they are. Like, there are loads of them. I thought, I know, I'll grab a couple of horses. It's a whole lot of riflemen right here. Skyscrapers need hats. I see a business opportunity. True. How did you make your millions? Well, you see. And he just zooms out and the whole city is just all the buildings have city hats. No. Yeah. That one doesn't have a rider. Ah! Yes. Right, so image. So we'll load it up with horse, you know, load it up with horse action. That's a good one. It's like Robot Crusade, dude. I love it. Okay, go. Now I've got to get back to the top. Some of them came out really interesting, but it's like totally going off the script right now. Because I'm literally prompting Horse Crusade. Horse Crusade, everyone. Ah, now this is more like it. See, now we're getting horses. Or it's starting to give us... See, that one's good. That one's great. This is actually good, but it's just the horse. They look weird, but it's fine. And so what I generally do is when I get a good one, I'll just go very strong, very strong. And then you just pick the best ones from the next variation level. So far, pardon me, that's pretty much the approach, you know what I mean, that I'll go with, and then I'll just keep repeating this until I've got all the images I need, and then maybe I do you know, what do you call it, GKG Hussars, and add it to the collection, right? Some of these are good, some of these are bad. But this sort of thing, you know, like, basically the thing about Midjourney that you've got to remember, right, is whenever you get an image back, each image is a variation of the other, because you know, I've got it set. So stylized 200, chaos 40 determines exactly how different they are and how much originality is being used in each image, right? So you'll notice the most obvious thing here, the hats. Round, pizza box, wedge, square. Next one, ready? I don't know, like a pin, a crash helmet with a ball, a square thing, and like a crash helmet with a flag on top. You see how it's like, you'll never get, like, everything is a slight variation of everything, you know what I mean? So like, look, white stripes, insignia, thinner straps, and a cross. So it's like wherever, you know, everything is varying, you know, it's all varying, everything is a variation, you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. If you want to download any of these models that we've looked at, the chances are they're on my account, so feel free to go over to civitai.com/user/driftjohnson or drop into the Discord, link is in the description. Don't forget, I do one-to-one coaching. There's details. You can send me a DM if you're interested. There's still spaces left for this month. We do eventually run out of time, guys. That's the truth. It's part of the reason why sometimes I'm late, you know, because I'm finishing up with one of you beautiful people. So, all right, we'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock GMT. Thank you all for coming along and hanging out. I'll see you all tomorrow.